Mama Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is to get concussed, baby. Now, I'm rejoicing because, a lot of people like me watch boxing, and one of the main reasons we watch boxing is to see Undisputed, right? It's not really, it's just, hey, Undisputed means then we got one guy who's the best in one of these damn divisions because we got 1,000 of them, right? That's not really all that awesome like it used to be back in the day when it was only about 7 divisions, but it's still something, because we all can complain about them 10 damn champions in every divisions. You got the 4 main ones, right? Then you got the IBO, the IBA coming through the back door. Isn't that 6? Then the new franchise, the gold, right? And I am missing something. The regular for the WBA, that's 9 right there, and I'm missing something, right? You see what I'm saying? That's 9 right there without me even really paying attention. So, and that's in every division. So, Undisputed means a lot to some people. Me for sure. So we got a finally undisputed fight in the lightweight division. Gonna happen on June the 5th, I think it is, in Marvel Stadium in Australia between, Devin Haney, who's the best lightweight by far, versus George Kambosos, who has 3 belts, and Haney has 1, the WBC belt, which some people try to put a question mark behind, which is ridiculous. But the reason why Devin Haney's name goes first here is because Kambosos won the belt from another guy who didn't want to fight Devin Haney for Undisputed, and that's Teofimo Lopez. And Teofimo Lopez won the belt from another guy that didn't want to fight Devin Haney, in Lomachenko, who asked for a franchise title instead of fighting Devin Haney, who was his mandatory. So there's too many people running around who didn't want to fight Devin Haney. And Devin Haney can't even fight his mandatories because Ryan Garcia sure the hell didn't want to do it. Jojo Diaz didn't want to do it. He was going to try to fight Ryan Garcia in another interim fight instead of fighting Devin Haney. So Devin Haney, for me, when you're talking lightweights, is Devin Haney and the rest of them. Now, even this contract that Devin Haney had to sign, I'm going to get 1/5 of what this guy going to get. That's less than a mandatory. Devin Haney is a champion. This should have been a 50-50 fight. Period. And 50 was good for Kambosos because you just got lucky, right? But okay, maybe 60-40, maybe, or 55-45, but you ain't supposed to be getting no Wade 80%, and then he's getting 20%, and ain't nobody in the boxing community on this mainstream is complaining about that. Why is he? I remember Dillian White was supposed to get less than Tyson Fury. It was a whole big old thing, right? All of a sudden, Devin Haney gonna get this less, and then they got the nerve to say the next fight's gonna be in Australia, and he's supposed to get the same amount again. Now, I'm hoping that it's one of those, scenarios where we're going to cross that bridge when we get there, because his pops know, first of all, like I said in another video, we leaving and going 140 after we become Undisputed or something, because we ain't going to fight you again and you ain't getting that money, especially if I dominate you. Now, speaking of dominating you, let me just mention this while I'm here. Most of the time when you mention fighters that are great, like a Shakur Stevenson, Floyd Mayweather, or Demetrius Andrade, or Devin Haney, you might get their feather-fisted thing, right? Popping off, feather-fisted. But it's harder for feather-fisted fighters to get a fight than it is for knockout artists. And I'm going to tell you why again, so you can pay attention. Because feather-fisted guys, right, will dominate your ass over 12 rounds, which means you ain't got no excuse afterwards. Right? Somebody get knocked the hell out, you always can come back. Man, I made a mistake. I'm going to come back. That mistake I ain't going to make again. That excuse is gone when you get dominated over 12 rounds. That's why Demetrius Andrade can't get no fights either. Shakur Stevenson can't really get no fights either. Everybody who fight them got to get forced. Have you noticed? Got to get forced. Right? Canelo ain't touching no damn Demetrius Andrade. And I just told you all the people that weren't touching Devin Haney. But you read comments of how feather-fisted they are. Well, people that are feather-fisted should get fought, don't you think? But anyway, so this is what we're going through, right? The split is damn ridiculous, and I don't think the fight is going to happen, right? I don't think the fight's going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, because of the simple fact that after further review, and my further review was watching the press conference, or listening to the press conference, I'm seeing, I can pay attention to how Kambosos is acting. And Kambosos is acting like a guy who is trying to do something to get out of the fight. What I mean by that, Kambosos' wife, right? About 3 weeks ago, she was caught in a racist rant. Now, because it was a racist rant, I didn't even go look at what it was. Because I don't want to dislike Kambosos, right? I was liking him before the Teofimo Lopez fight, but I was able to tell you what was going to happen. What was going to happen after he beats Teofimo Lopez is he's going to find out how entitled he is, how bad people don't want Devin Haney to fight him, and then he's going to run with it, right? And they're going to get him to fight Lomachenko, and Lomachenko, they will expect Lomachenko to beat him, and then they're never going to look back and they're going to call Lomachenko undisputed. That didn't happen, but that's what they wanted to happen. And now he is acting, shoot, as bad or worse than Teofimo Lopez. And what he's doing, right, especially after your wife just got caught doing something racist, you might want to be a little bit more sensitive to what you say, right? Aware of what you might be saying. But, you know, he can't stop calling Devin Haney a boy and a kid and a boy and a kid and a boy and a kid, right? And, you know, everybody know don't be calling no black man a boy, right? But that's what he continues to do, right? Trying to probably piss off his father, and so they can get into a rumble and something can happen, right? It's either that is what he's trying to do, or it will be a late injury. I'm going to keep this video short. I'm expecting a late injury, right? I'm expecting that this fight won't happen. If it does, I'll be happy. But I am expecting something to go wrong here, right? Unfortunately, that's how pessimistic I have become, right? Now, I'm going to say this, though, before I sign off. I was wrong about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury did everything in the world not to fight Deontay Wilder that third time. And you know what? Nobody ever got on him about that. You know, a big old galoot that was trying to go, to court to not fight a guy. And nobody said nothing. Nobody was like, hey, man, boy, you got to be scared of Deontay. None of that. Just ignored that. You know, and then he had to fight him, but he beat him. So he did, but he had to fight him. But I was expecting him to figure something else out. But I was kind of right because he was definitely trying not to. And here's the same thing. I don't think he's doing everything not to fight it. We know that. He didn't want to sign the contract. He was trying to fight Lomachenko. That was a done deal already, which was also another feather in Devin Haney's cap. You would rather fight Lomachenko than him. You see what I'm saying? You would rather fight Kovalev than Andrade. Right? Same kind of stuff here. Right? So he would rather fight Lomachenko, because Lomachenko, let's make sure it's clear, is supposed to be the best we ever seen, right? He'd rather fight him for less money than Devin Haney. So that's, that's another feather-fisted dude who something must be in them feathers. Must be some new, some new gene-manipulated feathers or something popping off that has some kind of stuff in them that hurt you. Because these feather-fisted guys, yeah, everybody wants a whole lot of money to fight feather-fisted guys. Have you noticed that? But anyway, that fight ain't gonna happen. And those are the reasons why. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.